Welcome to the bench, friends. This is Joe, Blue Oval Racing, HO Scale Custom and Performance. It's Friday, March 28th. My first video all week. It's been a rough one. This week has not been a smooth going week by no means. Let me have a little swig of my protein shake. I figure I'd do a video today on one of the most popular manufacturer in the HO slot car world's history, Tyco. This video pertains to the Tyco 440 x2. This also pertains to the plain Jane Tyco 440, Tyco 440 Magnum. The chassis. The front and rear bulkhead of the motor. The rear and the front. The front holds the brush barrels, which holds the brushes. And the rear is where the pinion gear connects on to the rear shaft of the armature. Over time, the bulkheads wear. Oblong, shall we say. Egg-shaped going towards the track, because that's where the magnetic downforce is being pulled, the armature is being spun. You get the picture. The bulkheads have no bushing except for a drilled out piece of plastic, basically. I believe this is a nylon with possibly, I'm not sure, a little fiberglass in it. They are a tough cookie, but they do wear over time. Now, you can purchase bulkheads that have bushings already installed. One place is on eBay from Lucky Gales, I believe it is. I think the last time I checked, they were somewhere around $17 plus $7 shipping. That's not bad for a set of bulkheads. To throw a set of bulkheads that have a metal type bushing installed in them. Very reasonable, but I'm a cheapskate. So I've been doing my own for a while, and I figured, since I haven't done a video on this subject, and I actually haven't done any of them in quite some time, I would spread the word. Yes, some of you are going to call this a hack job. I'm a butcher. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't do it. Don't do what this guy's telling you. Joe from Blue Oval Racing. I'm not telling you to do nothing. I'm showing you my technique, which has worked for quite some time. And I'm not the only hack job doing it, I don't believe. I take the bulkheads, I tear the car down, take the motor out, get to the bulkheads. What I do is I drill them out. I take it in a few steps. I don't go right for the 5-30 seconds bit that will be the final granddaddy that will bore the holes into the bulkheads. I go up with a few sizes. I go, well, I don't even know what the hell the sizes are. Pardon the language. I'll drill this, the pink, the blue, and end up with the brown. The brown's the largest size out of this bunch. Then I go to the 5-30 seconds. And this is what they will look like when they are completed, being drilled. Yeah, I found a little nylon washer. Why, it's me lucky day. Stock, drilled. What does he do with that now that he's drilled the holes out? Well, what I have been using is bushings from the Tomy Super G Plus. The motor bushings and the end belt bushing. You can purchase these from Hardin Creek Slot Cars. Oil light. I use the oil light bushings. They're inexpensive and they last for a longer time than the slot car is going to last. For $1.99, you will get 5 sets. That's 10 bushings. I used to just take them out of busted Super G Pluses, but I just purchased some, a batch of them. Well, 2 orders, enough to do 10 cars. And I have 3.5 cars left. Why do I have 3.5 cars left? Because I've already glued one into one of the end bells. When I get the 5/32 bored hole, the bushing will fit very tight. You may have to use a round, small file to open the hole up slightly, is what I do. You want a tight fit, but not a super tight fit where if you use an epoxy to epoxy the bushing in, it's not going to smush all the epoxy out. Or you can use a super glue. I use either one. When I get to the point where the bushing fits properly, I will take something like this. I will mix up my epoxy, or you can use super glue, and I'll take a little bit dab on this pick. And I will put a very light, small amount in the radius of the circle that is bored, the hole. A light amount. You don't want to get it all over the bushing. Or you can use super glue, which this is the other technique. I take an armature. Well, I take a bad armature. Where's the bad one at? A burned up one. Well, this one actually blew a wire. It was a Hardin Creek special. It was the economy balanced armature where material was added. Well, unfortunately, this one, well, we'll leave it at that. Saw better days. So, I will use the armature. I'll take a bushing. And I will press the bushing in to the bulkhead with the armature. Sometimes you'll push it too far, it will pop out. Just start over. I always thought about building a type of jig for this, but I don't do that many of them. It'd be a waste of time. Press it in. Like that. Now, if you're to use super glue, what I do is I will assemble the motor. Have it all assembled. And when it's, then I place it in a chassis to try to square it up. Even though Tyco 440s, there's nothing square about them. And then I will take a little super glue on something very small, even the pick that I have, and I will get a tiny amount on there, and I will just go around the edge of the bushing. Or I do the technique with the epoxy. I put the epoxy a small amount inside the hole, bore the hole, push the bushing in. For the back bulkhead, that was the front. Take the bushing, set it on the motor, press it into the bulkhead, like so. Same procedure. If I use epoxy, I will put epoxy prior to installing the bushing. If I use super glue, I will put the super glue after the bushing's installed. I will take an armature. I will assemble the motor without brush barrels. We'll assemble the motor. Take a couple of motor magnets. Doesn't matter what orientation they're going in. At this moment, this is just to stick it in the chassis while everything dries up. Like so. Everything's spinning. Place it in the chassis. As I'm fidgeting around here. Place it in the chassis. I don't put traction magnets in it. I put it in the chassis. I will even occasionally just throw a back wheel in it. Try to get it squared up the best I can. Make sure the motor spins freely. Set it down, let it dry. Done deal. This one's done already. Front rear bushing installed. Piece of cake. Anyone can do it. And this is high performance work at its best for the shade tree mechanic. In my case, sitting at my lovely desk at my house, building slot cars. There's a tip from Blue Oval Racing for the cheapskates that want it done to your best ability that you have at your house. Easy peasy, high performance work right in front of you. That's it for this video, friends. Until next time.